The next AI shopping feature will look boring. It will look like a cart, but that cart is not just holding products. It is holding your intent, your price limits, your payment rules, and eventually the proof of who approved what. That is the part most AI shopping takes miss. The recommendation is the visible layer. The cart is where the money starts moving. Google announced Universal Cart at I/O 2026, and the headline version is simple. Add products across Search, Gemini, YouTube, and Gmail, then let the cart track deals, price history, stock changes, and checkout options. Useful, convenient, very easy to underestimate. Because if this works, the important question is not, can AI recommend a better pair of shoes? The important question is, who owns the shopping state before the purchase happens? For most of internet history, the cart was a waiting room. You searched somewhere. You clicked through to a merchant site. You added a product. The cart sat there until you either paid, abandoned it, or forgot the tab existed. That old cart belonged to the store. It was basically a memory aid for one merchant, one session, one checkout. The new version is different. Google's Universal Cart is described as a shopping hub that can work across merchants and across services. You can add something while browsing Search, chatting with Gemini, watching YouTube, or reading Gmail. That means the cart is no longer just the last step inside a store. It becomes a cross-surface state machine. And once a platform owns state, it can do something much more valuable than show you products. It can remember what you meant to buy. That is the first payoff. AI commerce starts with memory, not magic. Every platform can say, we recommend products with AI. That sentence is already tired. Recommendations are useful, but they are not the whole business model. A recommendation can be copied, ignored, or compared. A cart has stronger gravity. A cart knows the products you have not bought yet. It knows your price sensitivity. It knows whether you care about delivery time, stock, loyalty perks, payment methods, returns, and bundles. Google's announcement names examples like price drops, price history, stock alerts, product compatibility, payment method perks, loyalty information, and merchant offers. Those are not random features. They are signals around a decision. So the platform is not only saying, here are 10 things you might like. It is saying, keep the decision here while the world changes around it. That is a much better position, because the closer you are to the decision, the closer you are to the money. Here is where the story gets more serious. If AI only suggests products, the risk is mostly bad recommendations. If AI starts buying, the risk becomes authorization. Who said the agent could buy this? At what price? From which merchant? With which payment method? What happens if the purchase is wrong? This is why Google's agent payments protocol matters more than the name suggests. AP2 is not a flashy shopping demo. It is a way to create records around agent-led payments. Google describes two important pieces, an intent mandate and a cart mandate. The intent mandate captures what the user asked for. The cart mandate captures the exact items and price after approval or under pre-authorized rules if the user delegated the task. Plain English. Before an agent spends money, there has to be a signed record of the instruction. Then there has to be a signed record of what was actually bought. That is not a small detail. That is the difference between my AI did something weird and here is the auditable chain of intent, cart, and payment. The boring paperwork is the product. Now, this does not mean every store disappears. Google's own Universal Cart announcement says that whether the user checks out with Google Pay or transfers items to the merchant site, the brand stays the merchant of record. That matters. The merchant still sells the product. The merchant still handles the actual customer relationship in important ways. But the front door can move. If the shopper starts in Search, continues in Gemini, adds something from a YouTube video, and gets reminded through Gmail, the merchant site is no longer necessarily the place where intent is formed. The merchant becomes one participant in a broader decision layer. That is the uncomfortable part for e-commerce operators. Your product page still matters. Your feed still matters. Your offers still matter. Your fulfillment still matters. But now your data has to be legible to agents, not just attractive to humans. Google's retailer side announcement points in that direction. UCP as a common language, business agent for brand chat on Search, Merchant Center attributes for conversational discovery, and direct offers for ready-to-buy moments. Translation: the store is not dead, but the store has to speak platform. The old e-commerce funnel was built around clicks, rank and search, buy ads, get the visit, convert the visit. Agentic commerce bends that funnel. The shopper may not want 10 tabs. They may want one assistant that understands the constraints. Find the jacket in green, under this price, from a merchant I trust, and buy it when it comes back in stock. At that point, the valuable moment is not the page view. It is the captured constraint. This is why Universal Cart, UCP, and AP2 belong in the same conversation. Universal Cart holds the shopping state. UCP gives agents and commerce systems a shared language. AP2 gives payment instructions and cart contents and audit trail. Put those together, and the platform can move from discovery to decision to purchase without treating each step as a separate website visit. That is the internet money mechanic. Control the decision layer, then route the transaction. Not all at once. Not for every merchant, not for every user. But directionally, that is the architecture. So who gets hurt if this becomes normal? First, thin affiliate content. If AI search can take a user's constraints and route them through structured product data, a generic top 10 products page gets weaker unless it adds original testing, current prices, real trade-offs, or trustworthy judgment. Second, merchants with messy data. If your product details, availability, returns, compatibility, shipping, offers, and support paths are hard for systems to understand, you become harder to route into agentic flows. Third, ads that only interrupt. If the platform knows the user's intent and constraints, the most powerful commercial placement is not a loud banner. It is an offer at the exact decision point. That is why direct offers in AI mode matters as a signal. Google is testing ways for advertisers to present offers when a shopper is close to buying. Again, do not overstate it. This is not all advertising is dead. It is more specific. Advertising gets pulled closer to the decision. Here is the practical framework. When you see the next AI shopping announcement, ignore the demo for a second and ask 5 questions. 1. Where is intent stored? 2. Who can update the cart? 3. What rules control the purchase? 4. Who is the merchant of record? 5. What receipt proves the agent acted correctly? If the product cannot answer those questions, it is probably just a recommendation wrapper. If it can answer those questions, it is closer to commerce infrastructure. And this is why the cart matters. The cart is the object everyone understands, so it can hide a much bigger shift in plain sight. It looks like convenience. It acts like memory. It becomes permission. And once permission is attached to payment, the internet is not just helping you shop. It is negotiating the purchase path on your behalf. The clean version is this. AI shopping is not about better product cards. It is about who gets to hold the buying intent before money moves. That is the layer to watch. If you want more breakdowns of the systems behind platform announcements, subscribe to From Atlas. No hype, no recycled clips, just the mechanics. The recommendation was the obvious feature. The cart is the quiet one, and quiet infrastructure usually matters more.